happening on the far left?
No. Because most Americans aren't even being told this happened. Do you know that CNN has yet to cover this story about the violence? I watched CNN this morning, and they were still covering the 2-week-old story about the violence at the United States Capitol, but they have yet to tell CNN's viewers about what happened in Portland or Seattle. Here's what the New York Times said today about the violence. Their headline is, hours after Biden's inauguration, federal agents used tear gas in Portland. So the story is about the federal agents using tear gas. And then here's how they described the protesters when they got to that point. Anti-fascist and racial justice protesters. The people carrying out the violence are racial justice protesters. Why isn't the media calling them radical anti-police fascists? Radical anti-police Antifa? You know, this is why there is not equality in coverage, and this is why when Republicans have been consistent about condemning what happened at the Capitol with the rioters there, the Democrats are not, and the media is complicit with it.
So, Molly, I don't understand how they can categorize these protesters using Ari's words, but it is very obvious that both sides are stealing tactics from each other, ultimately with the same goal, which is to tear down the power structure. So if you're going after the Capitol rioters with full force, I still don't understand the rationale. How do you think the Biden administration should deal with these things going forward?
You can look at how the Biden campaign handled this when there was the summer of rage that caused billions of dollars in damage to businesses across the country, destroyed people's homes, attacked rule of law. You know, this is not the first attack on a federal courthouse. It's one of many that we experienced over the last 9 months. And it took many months for Joe Biden or Kamala Harris to even give a slightly negative comment about this damage that was being wrought all over the country. And so there is, just as Ari was saying, there's no media pressure here for consistency. The Republicans, it's a low bar, but they were admirably consistent. They condemned political violence when it was done on the left. They condemned political violence when it was done once on the right. And everyone assumed that the Democrats would be unable to say that violence at the Capitol is wrong, but that all this violence that's destroying cities nationwide is okay. And yet, we are now hours into this. We were told Inauguration Day that there was a worry about right-wing violence. That didn't happen. Left-wing violence happened in cities, across the West. And yet, we are not hearing anything from our political leadership. Not surprising, you might remember Kamala Harris helped sent out that link to bail out the dangerous rioters in Minneapolis, and was praised for it by many people in the media. But this is the type of thing that angers people when they see these really dangerous double standards in play.
Double standards indeed, and Vice President Harris doesn't have to bail out these protest rioters, whatever they are, in Portland because they don't get charged, thanks to the DA and the nutless Wendell Mayor. So, Tommy, why are they so mad at Joe Biden? Why are they so mad at Joe Biden? I don't think that they're mad at Joe Biden at all. I think this is an excuse to act lawlessly and to act like thugs, which they've been doing for months on end. They always say that they have a cause. Really, they want to destroy things. They want to feel a sense of belonging. And they know that there will be no consequences for their action. They know that the media will turn the other way. They certainly know that the left will turn the other way, and they'll be able to continue to do what they've been doing for months. And again, when we talk about what happened at the Capitol, we were all very strong in condemning that. We were strong with condemning everything that happened over the summer. The difference is Trump supporters, or so-called Trump supporters, had one bad, horrible, horrific, disgusting day. The left, BLM, Antifa, they've had months, if not years on end, of acting like this. The difference is we are held to a different standard, one that we should always rise to, by the way. But the media's already begun their 4-year vacation, asking Joe Biden and Kamala Harris their favorite ice cream color and their favorite color tones, so don't expect them to cover any of the anarchy that's going on, and don't expect the anarchists to stop anytime soon.